In September 2015, Chris the sheep skyrocketed to international stardom as the wooliest merino ram ever on record. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, his 90 pounds of wool was also the most ever removed from a sheep in a single shearing. Experts believe he escaped from his flock between 5 and 7 years ago and has been living on the lam ever since. In desperate need of a haircut, Chris was discovered in the Australian bush by two unsuspecting hikers who, much like the kangaroos in this picture, had no idea what they were looking at. Was it a dusty boulder, a grounded rain cloud, an enormous powdered donut? It was an overgrown sheep with nearly 90 pounds of extra wool. A sheep with that much fleece is in grave danger. Struggling under the weight of his coat, Chris could barely walk. He could barely see. And had he fallen down in the wilderness, he most likely would not have been able to get back up. Concerned tourists contacted the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals for help, and Chris was quickly taken to Western Animal Sanctuary in Australia for emergency veterinary care. 4-time national champion sheep shearer Ian Elkins was called in for the hefty job, but the pro was worried. Chris's wool was so heavy that it was pulling on his skin quite dramatically. Would it even be possible to remove the coat without injuring the animal? Complicating matters further, Chris had been on his own in the Australian wilderness for so long that he was terrified of people. As such, the animal care experts were forced to sedate him so he wouldn't go into shock during the shearing process. Elkins then sawed away at the thick coat, piece by piece, until the outline of Chris's actual body gradually emerged from the center of all that wool. The operation lasted just over 42 minutes, and when it was over, Elkins had removed approximately half of Chris's body weight. In less than an hour, Chris went from 186 pounds to 97. That's the sort of life-changing weight loss most creatures can only dream of. Chris's 89-pound fleece is roughly 8 times larger than the average merino. So, he easily eclipsed both Shrek and Big Ben, the two rogue sheep from New Zealand who previously held the record. The ram Chris died in 2019 from old age. Chris was thought to be aged 10, a fairly average lifespan for a merino sheep. Sheep usually live to between 10 and 12 years old. However, his prolonged experience in the wild may have shortened his life. The wool from Chris's shearing was donated to several organizations, including the Royal Institute for Deaf and Blind Children, who used it to make blankets, scarves, and other items. The wool was also sold at auction, with the proceeds going to help animals in need of protection. Chris's story is a reminder of the importance of regularly shearing sheep. Without proper care, their wool can grow to the point where it becomes dangerous to their health. Chris's story also highlights the incredible strength and resilience of these animals and how they can persevere even in the toughest conditions. Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals produced a Chris the Sheep toy and book to help bring awareness to Chris and animal welfare. Now, his legacy can live on forever.